Let's see few MCQs with respect to angina and anti-anginal drugs. The first question is, which of the following is not used in angina treatment? Calcium channel blocker, organic nitrates, beta agonist, or PDE3 inhibitors? So the correct answer is beta agonist, which is not used in angina treatment because it's beta blockers which are given in angina treatment. Calcium channel blockers will be given as vasodilator, organic nitrates can be given as vasodilator, and PDE3 inhibitors can be given as vasodilator. But beta agonist will increase, it will stimulate beta 1 receptor on the heart and it will further increase the workload of the heart. So it cannot be given in angina treatment. Which of the following helps in vasodilation? Cyclic AMP, phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitors, nitric oxide, all of the above. The correct answer will be all of the above. Cyclic AMP, when it is raised inside the cell, the levels are high. They will inhibit myosin light chain kinase enzyme, which is responsible for phosphorylation of myosin. Since phosphorylation is not happening because of CAMP inhibition, MLCK inhibition by the CAMP, there won't be actin myosin interaction, there will be relaxation. That's vasodilation. This mechanism in detail we can see in antihypertensives, but all we need to remember is CAMP is causing vasodilation. Phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitors, they are again inhibiting this phosphodiesterase enzyme which is responsible for breaking down of CAMP. Nitric oxide we have already seen, they are organic nitrates which are releasing nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is increasing cGMP levels which are activating myosin light chain phosphatase enzyme. MLCP, which will cause dephosphorylation of myosin, and that's why there will be relaxation. Mechanism explaining calcium channel blocker effectiveness in managing angina. A. Decreased contractility. B. Decreased afterload. C. Increased coronary blood flow. D. All of the above. The correct answer will be all of the above, because calcium channel blockers or the drugs will decrease contractility of the heart. In the myocardium also they will block the calcium channel in, and that's why contraction will be reduced. They will cause vasodilation in the blood vessels also by blocking calcium channel blocker. Because of vasodilation there will be decreased afterload on the heart. So veins are dilated, heart doesn't have to apply too much pressure for pumping the blood. That is called reduced afterload. Increased coronary blood flow. So again, because of calcium channel blocking, the coronary artery will also be dilated and the blood flow will be increased. So all these effects are seen by the action of calcium channel blocker drug. So the answer will be all of the above. Which of the following is preferred by for decreasing myocardial oxygen consumption? A. Beta agonist. B. Beta blocker. C. Calcium channel agonist. D. Potassium blocker. So the correct answer, the class of drug which is decreasing myocardial oxygen consumption, is beta blocker. Beta agonist will stimulate beta 1 receptor of heart wall and the heart contractility will increase. so oxygen consumption will be increased by the heart wall. Calcium agonist, calcium channel agonist, again contraction will be increased in the heart wall, oxygen consumption will be increased. Potassium blockers, generally potassium openers are causing hyperpolarization, and they are reducing action potential or contractility of the heart wall. But potassium blocker, they will not cause hyperpolarization, so they are not the ones which are reducing oxygen consumption. It's beta blocker which will cause vasodilation, and that they will reduce the oxygen consumption by the heart wall, because by reducing the workload on the heart. Which of the following type of angina is known as Prinzmetal angina? A. Stable angina. B. Unstable angina. C. Variant angina. D. Microvascular angina. So the correct answer is variant angina, which is also known as Prinzmetal angina. A man is currently taking sildenafil. Recently, due to increased risk of anginal attack, he was prescribed isosorbate dinitrate. Which of the following is most likely to occur? Erectile dysfunction, reduced effect of sildenafil, reduced effect of isosorbate dinitrate, hypotension. So here, is there any interaction between sildenafil and isosorbate dinitrate? That will give us the correct answer. Sildenafil is a phosphodiesterase enzyme inhibitor, and isosorbate dinitrate is organic nitrate. The correct answer for this question is it will lead to hypotension. How? So here is the representation. The nitric oxide donor, that is the isosorbate dinitrate, will release nitric oxide, which will enter inside the cell, and it will increase cGMP level. After increasing cGMP level, it causes relaxation of the cell and vasodilation. Now, phosphodiesterase enzyme is something which generally breaks down the cyclic structure of cGMP, and that's why it will reduce this vasodilatory effect. This enzyme will reduce this vasodilatory effect. But sildenafil is a drug which is blocking this PDE enzyme. By blocking this enzyme, what will happen? cGMP levels will increase, because now PDE is blocked, so cyclic structure of this cGMP is not broken. It is continuously causing vasodilation. So there are now two ways. Organic nitrate is also increasing cGMP levels, and sildenafil is also increasing cGMP levels. And that's why there are high chances of hypotension because of too much of vasodilatory effect. A person is suffering from anginal attack due to exertion. Which of the following management approach is correct in such condition? He should take oral organic nitrate as prophylaxis before exertion. He should take sublingual organic nitrate to treat anginal pain. He should take second and third dose of sublingual organic nitrate at 15 minutes interval. He should seek medical help when sublingual organic nitrate doesn't work. So out of these four statements, only second statement is true, that it should be taken sublingually for treating pain, anginal pain. Only 1 and 2 is true, that is it should be taken for prophylaxis also and for treating the anginal pain also. 1, 2 and 3, these three statements are true. that it can be taken, organic nitrate can be taken as prophylaxis for treatment, and the repeated doses after 15 minutes interval. All of the above. So the correct answer will be all of the above, D option, because organic nitrates can be taken as a prophylaxis before exertion. Since a pattern is followed here, the attack is due to exertion, that means it's stable angina. The person must be knowing that this exertion might initiate the anginal attack. So as a prophylaxis, organic nitrate can be taken to treat the anginal attack. Since organic nitrates are sublingual, organic nitrates are having rapid onset of action, they can be taken to treat the pain. They have slightly shorter duration of action, so after 15 minutes interval the dose can be repeated, and if this does not help, then medical help can be sought. So all four options are true here. Which of the following is true about subendocardial crunch? It occurs due to reduced perfusion during diastole. It causes rapidly reversible left ventricular failure, and it is relieved by taking rest, or all of the above. Correct answer is all of the above. In subendocardial crunch, this is happening because of reduced perfusion during diastole. When there is diastole in the ventricle, there is a back pressure on the coronary artery blood supply, which is reducing the perfusion or blood supply to the heart wall. And this back pressure is rapidly causing reversible ventricular failure, left ventricular failure, because at that moment when there is back pressure, the blood supply to the heart left ventricular wall is almost reduced. This is relieved by taking rest. All these are true. Which of the following should not be used in angina treatment? Norepinephrine, aspirin, ranolazine, all of the above. The correct answer is norepinephrine, as this is beta agonist, the sympathomimetic. So it will stimulate beta 1 receptor and increase heart contraction. Rest aspirin is antiplatelet drug, which is helping in dissolving the plaque, and ranolazine is something which is shifting the metabolism towards glucose, so more oxygen is generated and cardiac wall is getting more oxygen. So aspirin and ranolazine can be used in angina treatment, but norepinephrine should not be given. Aspirin is preferred for management of dash type of angina: stable, unstable, variant, or microvascular. So the correct answer is unstable, because aspirin is acting as antiplatelet drug, and it is helping in dissolving the plaque, and dissolving plaque is very important step in management of unstable angina, because in that case anytime the plaque can completely block the coronary artery and cause lead to heart attack. So dissolving plaque there is very important, and that's why aspirin is preferred. Which of the following organic nitrate is metabolized least via first pass metabolism? Erythritol tetranitrate, pentaerythritol tetranitrate, isosorbate mononitrate, nitroglycerin. The correct answer is isosorbate mononitrate. Rest all organic nitrates are metabolized in the liver. Organic nitrates are preferred in dash type of angina management: stable, unstable, variant, microvascular. So organic nitrates are preferred in management of stable angina because in this case the pattern is followed. In the anginal attack is following a pattern. When the patient is doing some exercise or strenuous activity, he or she is anticipating anginal attack. At that time, he or she can take organic nitrates. In case of other types of angina, where the pattern is not followed, we cannot anticipate anginal attack. It's unpredictable. And in that case, we will have to take organic nitrates all the time, which might lead to development of tolerance. And that's the reason we are preferring organic nitrates in stable angina, where we can take the molecule when the attack is anticipated and the tolerance will not be developed. Dash amino acid is the precursor for endogenous nitric oxide synthesis. Methionine, arginine, aspartate, phenylalanine. So here we need to know that nitric oxide, in case of anginal treatment, it is donated from, released from organic nitrates. But in general also in a healthy person, in the blood vessel, the nitric oxide is generated through some amino acid and they are showing vasodilatory effect to some extent. Now which is the amino acid showing this effect? It's arginine. Thank you for watching this video.